There is a moment in everyone's life when they sit alone, staring at the quiet aftermath of yet another connection that never fully became a relationship, and they ask themselves a painful question. Why do I always fall for people who cannot love me back? Why do I feel the strongest pull toward the ones who keep me at a distance, who stay half present, who vanish when I need them to show up? Why does my heart keep choosing the same story in different bodies? This question feels personal, intimate, even shameful. But the truth is that this pattern is not a personal flaw. It is not because you are broken or because you want the wrong people. It is because your nervous system learned, long before you could speak, what version of love felt familiar. And familiarity is one of the most powerful forces inside the human body. When you meet someone emotionally unavailable, your mind might sense the danger, but your body feels at home. It recognizes the rhythm, the inconsistency, the longing, the unpredictability, the chase, the small drops of affection that feel like oceans because you've taught yourself how to survive on crumbs. The way your body relaxes around emotional distance is not proof that they are right for you. It is proof of the emotional blueprint you were raised inside. People often believe attraction is a conscious choice, but most of attraction is unconscious. It lives in the body, in the nervous system, in old memories stored beneath language. You are drawn not simply to what is beautiful or interesting, but to what feels familiar. And if love, in your earliest experiences, came tied to anxiety, inconsistency, or silence, then your body will seek out that same pattern in adulthood. Not because you want pain, but because your system is trying to resolve a story it never had the chance to finish. Imagine this. A child grows up learning that love must be earned. That affection comes only when they behave perfectly. That emotional presence is rare and unpredictable. That the parent is physically there but emotionally distant, distracted, or overwhelmed. That connection is inconsistent. That expressing needs leads to withdrawal instead of warmth. That their emotions are too big, too inconvenient, too much. Now imagine that child growing up into an adult. They meet someone emotionally available, someone who texts back, who shows up, who asks questions, who cares. And suddenly, instead of feeling safe, they feel uncomfortable, restless, suspicious, even bored. Not because the person is wrong for them, but because calmness feels unfamiliar. Stability feels suspicious. Consistency feels foreign. And the nervous system, craving the rhythm it knows, pulls them instead towards someone unpredictable. Someone who mirrors the exact dynamic they grew up inside. Someone distant enough to activate survival mode. Someone who awakens the old hope of finally being seen, understood, chosen. This is why emotionally unavailable people feel magnetic. Their inconsistency activates a part of your psyche that has been waiting for redemption, longing to finally win the love you could not get before. You're not chasing the person. You're chasing the resolution of an old wound. But here is the truth that changes everything. The reason you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people is because your nervous system is trying to complete a story. The story where you finally make someone stay. The story where you finally earn the love that was always hard to reach. The story where you prove, through romantic relationships, that you are worthy of affection, attention, and presence. But this story cannot be healed by another person. It must be healed inside you. Because emotional unavailability is not actually about the other person. It's about the version of you who keeps returning to the familiar. The version trying to rewrite the past through the present. The version who believes love must be chased to be deserved. The version who confuses intensity with intimacy. The version who has learned to be comfortable with ambiguity because clarity feels too vulnerable. If you want to understand why you attract emotionally unavailable partners, look at how your body responds to emotional closeness. When someone wants you, fully and clearly, does your chest soften or tighten? Do you relax, or do you feel the urge to run? Does safety feel safe, or does it feel unfamiliar? Many people don't realize that emotional availability feels threatening when the nervous system is accustomed to emotional distance. A partner who is present forces you to be seen. It requires vulnerability. It requires trusting that you matter. It requires receiving instead of chasing. And receiving is one of the most difficult skills for someone who grew up emotionally deprived. So how do you break this cycle? You start by understanding that the attraction is not the problem. The problem is the meaning your body attaches to that attraction. When your body equates love with longing, you seek longing. When it equates love with unpredictability, you seek chaos. When it equates love with silence, you seek people who cannot speak their hearts. But none of this is destiny. Patterns repeat only until they're understood. The moment you bring awareness to the pattern, something shifts. You begin to notice the early signs, the slow fade, the inconsistency, the emotional half-presence, the avoidance of depth, the lack of availability, the excuses disguised as boundaries. And instead of blaming yourself, you begin to see the pattern for what it is, not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of your conditioning. Healing begins when you stop asking, "Why am I not enough for them?" and start asking, "Why am I drawn to someone who cannot meet me?" Attraction begins to shift the moment you realize that the ache you feel around emotionally unavailable people is not passion. It is a trauma echo, a familiar wound calling you home. You break this cycle not by forcing yourself to desire different people, but by teaching your body a new definition of love. Love that is calm, consistent, patient. Love that feels like ease instead of anxiety. Love that feels like clarity instead of confusion. Love that does not require you to shrink yourself to be understood. And the most surprising part? When you heal the part of you that equates love with longing, emotionally unavailable people stop feeling magnetic. The chaos stops feeling charged. The inconsistency stops feeling romantic. The uncertainty stops feeling like destiny. You begin to crave a different kind of connection. You begin to choose differently because you feel differently. And that is when everything changes. Because when you heal your nervous system, you stop chasing unavailability. You stop confusing emotional scraps with intimacy. You stop accepting half-love. You stop overfunctioning. You stop begging for the bare minimum. You stop trying to prove your worth. You stop trying to earn what you deserve naturally. You begin to recognize who is capable of loving you and who isn't. You begin to feel turned off by emotional games. You start valuing peace over intensity, presence over potential, substance over fantasy. You start noticing that the people you once considered boring are actually emotionally mature. And the people you once considered exciting were simply triggering your wounds. You begin to see that you were never lacking love. You were lacking emotional safety. And once you learn to create that safety inside yourself, you stop attracting people who destabilize you. You stop repeating the old story. You stop returning to the familiar fire that always ends up burning you. And you step into a completely different chapter of your life. One where love feels like breathing instead of drowning. So if you find yourself once again pulled towards someone who cannot love you fully, pause. Don't shame yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't call it weakness. Instead, place a hand on your heart and whisper, "This is an old pattern resurfacing, and I am not obligated to repeat it." Healing is not about never feeling the pull again. Healing is about recognizing the pull and choosing differently. And when you choose differently enough times, your body begins to understand. Your nervous system rewires. Your emotional blueprint updates. And the version of you who once chased unavailability evolves into the version who naturally attracts wholeness, safety, presence, and reciprocity. If this message resonates, take a moment to breathe, to reflect, and to honor how far you've come. And if you feel called, subscribe, like, comment, and share this with someone who keeps falling for the unavailable. They might not realize that what they call attraction is actually an old wound asking to be healed.